listening to the Hey Legal podcast.
CPD, when you want, where you want.
CPD for modern lawyers.
This free Hey Legal podcast is brought to you with the support of Caseload from De Novo Business Intelligence.
Hello, this is Ian Moir of the Law Society Legal Aid Negotiating Team. I've been asked by the team at Hey Legal to give you another update about the developments in terms of emergency measures to assist legal aid firms and practitioners through the current coronavirus crisis. I'm pleased to say that the Legal Aid Board have put details up on their website yesterday about the mechanics of making interim claims for fees, and I'm hoping that during the course of next week regulations will be passed which will mean that all of the outstanding work at the moment can be feed, be that on a fixed fee or on solemn or summary or advice and assistance. So there's good progress being made there, and there's been a lot of work done by the Legal Aid Board and ourselves to get to that stage, which is obviously crucial to cash flow for most firms. We're working on other avenues to try and feed into changes that might make court work safer during the current crisis. For example, we hope that there'll be a much greater use of written pleadings if citations are served, and we are working to try and get a scheme whereby ABWAR will be triggered in circumstances where it currently wouldn't, in order to allow much greater use of written submissions to the court, which would mean that we do the work, but rather than exposing ourselves to risk whilst appearing in a courtroom, we simply email the clerks with our mitigation. It's not a perfect solution, but obviously we have to be creative at the present moment. We're also looking at trying to change the duty solicitor regulations so that you can instruct an agent or a duty solicitor and still trigger ABWAR in circumstances where normally you would not be able to do that. I'm hopeful that we can get some progress on these initiatives in a very early course, and I will keep everybody updated as to how we get on with that. It's expected that emergency legislation will be passed by the Scottish Parliament during the course of the next week, and we're asking them to look at other initiatives like payment of outlays directly by the board, and Edinburgh agents being able to submit their fees direct, and the position regarding work done by curators and the like. There will be limited scope for additional legislation, clearly with the current situation, but we hope that there may be some scope if there are issues that arise during the course of dealing with all of this, which would benefit from further legislation. So even once these measures that do come in are processed, we will keep an eye on things and continue to make representations as required to the Scottish Government and the Scottish Legal Aid Board. So the key message is keep an eye on all of the relevant websites for the Scottish Court Service, the Crown Office, the Legal Aid Board and the Law Society, and we'll keep you updated as best we can. One other outstanding area relates to the use of undertakings, and at present the guidance is that people are not allowed to enter as members of the public into the hub courts which are now operating. There are 10 courts operating around Scotland. So again, we're having to try and find a way of allowing the use of undertakings whilst being safe for solicitors. So we're looking at some creative options which have been put to the government in the hope that we can find a way that we can represent the client without risk to ourselves, which ultimately obviously is extremely important, as well as maintaining cash flow for our businesses. So I'm hopeful that there will be continued progress in avoiding having to go to court, and I will keep all of you advised of any developments as and when they arise. As always, I'll be using Twitter to try and get word out to people as quickly as possible on @Ian Moir 5. So thanks for listening, and I'll keep in touch.